Real estate market is starting to show some signs of life. Potentially, the National Association of Homebuilders reported a 5-month high in its confidence index this morning, but it still was below the consensus forecast. And just last night, a new report from Standard & Poor's predicts another 7 to 10% drop in home prices through 2011. Well, joining us now to talk about the real estate market is Jonathan Miller. He's the president and CEO of Miller Samuel. It's a top real estate appraisal and consulting firm right here in the tri-state region. Jonathan, welcome. Thanks so much for coming in-house today. Well, your latest New York City market overview doesn't necessarily paint a bleak picture. Neither do many of the reports. Now, I was just looking at it for the third quarter. Median sales price up more than 24% quarter over quarter, so second versus third quarter. At the same time, though, sales seem to really take a little bit of a dip there, down 17% third quarter to second quarter. Now, that's just a snapshot, but is there anything that someone could extrapolate from that data?
Yeah, you can't believe the numbers.
Right, exactly. Don't try to extrapolate any data, right?
Right. No, I think the way you look at it is that what we saw in the price indicators is this classic shift in mix, where we had 2009 was the year of the first-time buyer. We had very high levels across the country, not just in New York, of entry-level purchasers. We had the first-time home buyers tax credit. This year in 2010, we saw the upper end of the market, the mid to upper end of the market wake up, and the lower end sort of cool off to more normal levels. So the comparison year over year shows a big jump in prices when in reality it was a shift in the mix. We're really seeing a stabilization of prices over the last 3 quarters.
Okay, so down in D.C. today, I talked about this. This is a story we were talking about just before we got to you. The Senate Banking Committee is meeting. They're holding a hearing on reports of potentially fraudulent or at least flawed foreclosure procedures. What's your take on these headlines? I know many people feel as if this is potentially pushing off the glut of foreclosures that is inevitable.
Well, I think it's I think a lot of people try to pass this off as a minor sort of paperwork inconvenience, but I think what it ends up doing is delaying the foreclosure process for many transactions. Whether or not the homeowner should be rightfully foreclosed on, simply it adds a sort of wrench to the process. And we really, for housing to truly recover, we need to see the market clear. We need to see foreclosures be absorbed. We're not looking for foreclosures to really peak at least until the middle of next year. And at that point, we're really only halfway. So this is a multi-year process.
So getting through the foreclosure inventory is certainly, or getting to a low point in inventory is critical. But what else needs to happen? What are the other catalysts that need to happen for us to really hit a bottom in real estate prices?
Well, and it's great that you said that, to hit a bottom, because the word recovery is being used a lot, and I used to think recovery meant getting better, and the word recovery now I think means not getting worse.
Right, exactly.
But I think the key thing is all about employment. It's all about jobs. Unlike in my sort of favorite description of the credit boom we had a few years ago, was that you actually now need a job to get a mortgage. And today we're dealing with a situation where we have very high unemployment relative to a few years ago. It's almost double. And that's going to lead where housing goes. I think we have it backwards. I think we see housing as leading us out of the recession, when I think we have to have employment rise, unemployment fall, in order for people to be able to afford to buy homes.
All right.
So I think we have it backwards.
Jonathan Miller, we're going to leave it there. Thanks so much for joining us, CEO of Miller Samuel.